boot. Inch perfect.
Hello and welcome to another edition of the Outside of the Boot Football Podcast. My name is Kevin Collins and I'm joined by Jeff Hanratty.
Hey Kev.
And Eoghan Rock.
How things, Kev?
Before the weekend's Premier League games began, only two sides had unbeaten home records. By lunchtime on Saturday, that was down to one. We're going to focus first on the game that altered that statistic, Swansea's shock 3-2 win over Liverpool at Anfield. Jeff, how do you reckon that result came about?
I called it. I said Swansea were going to win.
You did actually, yeah.
I don't
You
know.
must give us the lottery numbers as well.
Yeah. No, I was delighted, to be honest. I was glad to see Swansea picking up the 3 points. Llorente with 2 goals. I don't know, just something's just. It's very Liverpool. Like they grind out results, and then like they grinded one out against United, well deserved point, and then they go a lot easier fixture, Swansea at home, and then they lose 3-2. I remember they did it again against Bournemouth. At the start of the season, they beat Arsenal away in the Emirates, and then they went and lost to Bournemouth.
Burnley, the 2-0 win at Turf Moor, yeah.
Yeah, so it's obviously something that
Very good performance from the two debutants, Tom Carroll and Martin Olsen. I think they were very good.
They stood out, didn't they?
Yeah, I think Carroll's assist for the second goal was unbelievable. And I think Lovren, he was terrible for the goals. And last week he was very good attacking corners, and we were criticising Pogba for his defensive displays for corners, and I think Lovren did the complete opposite this week, and he was terrible for defending corners, and I think he was the cause for the first goal for Llorente. He let Llorente run loose, and evidently it cost Liverpool.
But I think that game illustrated exactly why Liverpool aren't title contenders. If you look at a few weeks ago, Leakin 2 at Sunderland getting a point, and Leakin 3 to Swansea getting nothing out of it. And I think they've no problem scoring goals, but the amount of goals they're leaking now is going to see them finish in the top 6 if they're lucky, as opposed to top 4.
I wouldn't say. I can't imagine they'll go out of the top 4.
Yeah, not even. I'm just actually being a Liverpool fan. You prepare for the worst.
Yeah.
But I think if you look at even they highlighted the match today. If you look at Llorente's first goal, he was being picked up by Jordan Henderson, who was marking him. Then Llorente took a step forward, and he ended up standing beside Firmino. And Henderson assumed that Firmino had him marked, so Henderson turned his back on him. But unknown to him, Firmino also turned his back on Llorente.
Taking Henderson out.
The two of them got their wires crossed, he assumed, and then of course Llorente ran in, got the little touch back and belted it home.
Sigurdsson takes it. Fernandes wins it, came to Llorente, who puts Swansea in front.
I think it's very important though to note was Swansea were very poor defensively as well. Very poor.
Yeah.
I think Liverpool could have had 3 or 4 on a different day.
Yeah.
And to be fair, I think it was the battle of who had the worst defence on the day, and I think Swansea were very clinical, but defensively they could have leaked another 3 or 4 themselves.
That's
I think
true.
That's important to know. But at the same time, it's a terrible result for Liverpool, and I think it does. I think it ends. They're 10 points behind Chelsea now, so I think they're out of the title race completely. It's Chelsea's to lose.
I'd agree. But after the first half an hour, I thought it was a matter of how many Liverpool were going to get, because Firmino looked very lively. He kept making little runs out to the top right position, putting crosses in.
I think Wijnaldum was excellent actually. Even when they were losing, I think he was very good, controlled the game well, and he had a few. I think for the goal, the second goal, there was a hint of a high foot and a handball in there, but
got overlooked.
Yeah, his ultimate assist was brilliant for the Firmino goal.
Yeah, but I suppose being a Liverpool fan like Owen, we're tempted to kind of put the focus on Liverpool's failings, but I think it's important that we look at what Swansea done there. A team that got beaten 4-0 at home previous weekend.
I'd said 2 weeks ago that I thought they were going to come to life in the Arsenal game, and I think they came to life in the Liverpool game, but I think they were good value for their win. I think they deserved it in the end.
Yeah, it's always a classic case of a pool of good players just not believing in themselves. It isn't the fact that they're not good players. Sigurdsson, Llorente, the next Spanish international. They do have the players, and
I think Sturridge should have started again. He didn't start against United, and he didn't start against Swansea. I think he's probably the better option to Origi.
Yeah, it's quite odd, but I think Liverpool get much better success when Firmino pushes forward. Do you think?
Definitely, yeah. I think that they showed there on Saturday lunchtime. But I think he actually done well, because there were two very. I mean, he scored a header, which is quite unheard of.
The second goal was good.
Technically, he was very good for the
second goal. Was magnificent, and Wijnaldum with the cross in, as you said. But
good bit of variety in the 2 goals. And
can't stand him.
Firmino.
Yeah, can't stand him.
He seems to like himself a bit, doesn't he?
Yeah. He came back there. He went on international break.
Yeah.
Him, Coutinho, and Neymar obviously got their teeth done. Came back after Brazil international and had these big whites at a Delph on him, and it just looks ridiculous. Like looks like Ross from Friends. Big glowing set of teeth.
And he certainly has the money to get it done anyway.
Yeah.
So moving on to a massive, probably the biggest game in the Premiership over the weekend. That was Spurs' trip to Man City on Saturday evening. I think Spurs showed a tremendous character in a game that they weren't even a part of.
I think last week we said that it was important that Aguero played through centrally. I think in the first half an hour he was excellent playing through the centre. He really got at the back four, and he had Kevin Wimmer really rattled. He should have had 2 goals. He forced 2 good saves from Lloris, and I think it makes such a big difference when he plays through the middle. And I think Guardiola will learn from that game that you have to play your best players in the right position. Now I don't know, he might have gave Aguero a license to play where he wanted at Everton, but I think he's much more effective through the middle of the defence.
What do you reckon, Jeff?
Yeah, Alan talked about 2 good saves there by Lloris, but they're kind of overshadowed by his 2 mistakes for each of the goals. Came out for the header against Sané and kind of like hesitated there. I don't know what he was just kind of. It was as if he kind of came out and he was like,
should I go back?
Bollocks, what have I done?
Yeah.
But definitely very unlike him. He's usually quite solid, I think, in goal. He doesn't really make any mistakes. But still, I thought City were very good. They played very, very well in the game.
Yeah, that was the real Man City, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And again, they could see it twice in the second half.
That's how you know that something's not right.
Seems to be the issue that they just can't defend. Basically, whenever they're like they're leaking goals.
They can't defend, but I think they were better without John Stones in the team defensively.
They probably were. Yeah, they probably were. But like, there's something serious you on, because the City of old now would never let a team that they've dominated for an hour back into the game the last half an hour.
Yeah,
there's no doubt about that.
I think that was a penalty for
the push
Sterling in the back.
I thought both of them were penalties.
I didn't think the Wanyama one was a penalty.
Well, the one thing that was Danny Rose kind of grappled him a bit. Danny Rose wrapped his leg around a bit.
Well, the one I'm talking about is Kyle Walker pushing.
But that was definitely a penalty.
If he had it went down.
Yeah, but
if he had it went down initially, I think it would have definitely been a penalty. But you're not going to get a penalty if you stay on your feet.
Good ball from De Bruyne. Corner off. Great ball. Sterling onside. Raheem Sterling maybe to wrap it up. There's a little push from Kyle Walker. Just as he's about to strike on goal. And Pep Guardiola's furious.
Yeah, and
it was such a subtle, you see, but that brings another kind of angle in. Like, it's almost like if that push happened outside the box, it'd be a free kick.
Yeah.
But it's like it has to be a particular type of foul, even though the rules state if a foul happens inside the box, it's a penalty.
Yeah.
But it's almost like it has to be a particular type of foul for a penalty to be given.
Yeah, but it obstructed him. I don't know, maybe he wouldn't have scored, but it definitely made it a lot more difficult for Raheem Sterling to put the ball away.
I think it really knocked him off balance, and he ended up just towing the ball to Lloris.
Yeah, and it showed when like Pep was lost his marbles on the sideline before the official, which I'm seeing a new side to Pep since he's come to the Prem. He just seems to be very like I don't really watch the Spanish league or the German league that much, bar in the Champions League, but he seems to be very just seems really stressed and pissed off, to be honest, all the time.
Yeah.
Even after that game, Kyle Walker said he wasn't going to catch him, so he had to do something to put him off, and
he actually admitted it.
He gave him the little nudge just to try and put him off, but I don't think he expected the reaction that it got in the end.
Yeah, it's so disappointing though, with 2 linesmen who would be in line with that, and it wasn't like it happened in a crowded penalty area. It happened. There was only the 2 of them there. There was no one blocking their view, and the 2 linesmen, the ref, between the 3 of them, they couldn't see that was a penalty. And we're talking. You never know. That could be the difference between City win the league and not win the league.
Yeah.
Sorry, under a normal season, and not this season. But and it's big games and big money. But I thought City were really good. Now that was a City that we've come to expect. They really passed the ball well. Great tempo to the play. They were clearly a wounded animal.
Yeah, definitely.
They wanted to make a statement,
I thought they were excellent, actually. I think De Bruyne played very well as well after he got a bit of a bashing last week after the Everton game. But I still think they're missing something.
They got a goal disallowed as well.
Yeah.
And your man Jesus or whatever, the new fella.
That's right.
Looks
just
good.
Half a yard offside. Yeah.
Yeah, he could be.
And it was actually funny because when I seen that move, I was like, "Get yourself onside, and then the goal went in. I was like, "What are you doing?" Like,
but I can tell you what though, that it just shows the way Spurs are a new animal under Pochettino, because that would never have happened. The Spurs I've known growing up would never 2-0 away and being dominated. They would finish 4-0, 5-0. The fact that they're able now in the game, they're not even in to leave with a point.
Ericsson gliding away. Kane, Son, Spurs level. It is a fine finish from Son Heung-min. City carved open moments after Pep Guardiola was adamant that they should have had a chance to make it 3-1 from 12 yards.
Yeah, but I think think, as I said last week, the players love Pochettino. I think they really do play from him. So he might have said something at half time that got them really rolled up to get the point in.
I think it's a great shame they couldn't have done this at the start of the season, because I think then they take Chelsea all the way. At the moment, an 8-point lead with only 16 games left to play is a serious mountain, especially when Chelsea, the team that have the lead, are capable of winning 13 matches in a row.
100%.
So, moving on to the Britannia Stadium, Stoke v Man United.
Yeah, I have a lot to say about this game now because I think
take us away there.
I think last week we slated Paul Pogba. He was fantastic against Stoke on the weekend. He really was. His little subtle touches and his true passes were exceptional. I think United deserved a 3 or 4-1 win in that game, if I'm honest.
Yeah. I didn't actually catch much of that now, but they dominated Stoke. Yeah,
and Rooney's goals.
That's the thing with Paul Pogba. Like I said last week, he dominates with the weaker teams. Well, he's
the so-called weaker teams.
Yeah. But like he is world class. There's no denying that. But like, why couldn't? It's like the pressure gets to him or something.
He was definitely too excited before the Liverpool game or something. There was something not right.
He had too many Smarties. Yeah.
But I think he really expressed himself in the game against Stoke, and he performed very well. Fair play to him, because he took a lot of criticism after the game against Liverpool, so he responded well. Yeah,
totally. As Jeff says, technique wouldn't be in question, but you do expect a central midfield player that basically costs 90 million to get on the ball, and like Roy Keane used to years ago, slow it down at the right times, knock it to your full back, look disinterested, get it back from your full back, and you expect him to kind of dictate the tempo. But Pogba just seems to run around in a lot of big games, just trying to. He's like a child in a playground chasing the ball, trying to get on the ball to hit a spectacular shot or a pass or a flick, but you have to have much more nous about you.
He should have scored actually. He had a lovely strike that was well saved by the keeper. Lingard nearly scored as well, so I think they were quite unlucky not to win. But the United haven't won at the Britannia since Alex Ferguson was in charge, so bit of a blip in the works there for them.
Yeah, to be honest,
free kick by Rooney.
Great achievement.
He definitely meant that.
Yeah.
It was
a strike. It was an absolute peach. It reminded me now of myself.
Even Mark Hughes after the game, you just have to hold your hands up when you're defeated by a bit of quality like that.
Yeah.
Wayne Rooney with the ball at his feet. Deep in added time. Rooney's delivery. Oh, it's a sensational goal! Wayne Rooney, record breaker. That's number 250. What a way to break the record.
You know, it was a lovely moment of the match actually when Rooney scored, and you could tell by his face he didn't have even 1 inch of self-satisfaction. He wasn't thinking about the record. He had a totally down-to-earth, focused face, which was
pointing at the lads to get the ball.
And then the camera went on Bobby Charlton up in the stands, whose record of 44 years had just been broken. And anyone else might let a little sad expression come out, but he just turned around to his partner, and you could see the joy in his face that the record had been gone to what he would obviously deem a worthy successor, and 2, the fact that United had got something from the game in injury time. So they're 2. I mean, talk about Lampard last week as an ambassador for Chelsea, but those 2 are great ambassadors for United. They really are.
Yeah, but you see Alan Shearer on Match Today saying that Rooney would pay for £50 a week. He held the club to ransom.
Yeah, £50 on top of his 200 grand a week wages.
But I was very, very happy for him to get the goal, and because he's come out, especially this year, he's come under a lot of flack. People are slating him and saying he's not good, he's passed and stuff. But I have to remember he's all-time leading England scorer as well.
He's probably in the top 5 best Premier League players of all time.
Yeah, like his powers are fading a bit, fair enough, but I think he's always been one of my favourite Premiership players. I think he's the real deal. He's a real street footballer, and you allied that then with his great will to win, and he run through a brick wall for you. And I think you've got a real
good leader.
Yeah, you've got a top player. So moving on to the Emirates, Arsenal against Burnley.
Yeah, the Gunners.
Kev, you touched on it last week. Arsenal at home, they just don't.
They're very fragile.
Couldn't believe I was in work, and I was looking at 6, I don't know, half time 0-0. I was like, oh my god, they're gonna lose this here. And all I was thinking was your smug face going.
You're thinking, I don't want to see him Monday morning. But I don't know what it is. I just think they struggle more than any other team when they're at home. The opposition put 10 men behind the ball for some reason. I don't know, maybe it's something to do with their style of play, but they can never break the wall down. And if they do, they never do it in a convincing way, I find.
Yeah, and I think Burnley applied themselves well. They've got 1 point from 9 away games before this, which is the worst in the Premier League. So that's they really had to. And Arsenal Arsenal are a strong side, so to go to Arsenal and nearly claim a point. It's good for them. Good
Boost.
Yeah.
Good
Morale
boost for
boost.
Good
the
morale
confidence,
boost, yeah.
really,
Yeah.
What do you think of the sending off? Did you see it? Xhaka?
Do you know what? I think I can see why the red was given, but I have seen kind of more wild tackles. I've seen wilder tackles with both feet off the ground. I didn't think he had 2 feet off the ground as such.
Yeah, he's got a serious record.
He's
Yeah.
9 red cards in 3 years.
Yeah,
Mm.
he's the most red carded player since August 2015 in the top 5 European leagues. It's 3 this season, 2 for Arsenal.
He was. I
One
think
for Switzerland.
there was a bit of controversy with the red card against Swansea a couple of months ago, but I definitely think it was a red card in this game. He lost the ball and he kind of got a bit annoyed, a bit reckless, and
Yeah.
dived in. And
Especially at that stage, the game was 1-1, or was it 1-0 Arsenal maybe?
It was 1-0, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, but obviously he knew his team weren't on form anyway.
you can't be giving the referee a decision to send you off when you're 1-0 up at home. Like,
The same referee sent him off against Swansea.
yeah, John Moss, I think it was.
Yeah.
Mm.
So I think maybe his reputation did go a bit before him in the challenge, but it's a poor challenge to make, really.
Yeah, it is. But I wonder, are Arsenal kind of crumbling under pressure in front of their home fans? A small team turning up, or so-called small team, they're expected to win convincingly.
They get heckled when they're at home. It's really annoying. It's really annoying.
Do you reckon that has something got to do with why they struggle so much at home?
I don't know. I just think the teams go there and park the bus, and I don't know why, but they can't really break them down. Well, I mean, they should have scored in the first 10 minutes with Ozil's shot. Ozil with the
Great save by the keeper, yeah.
So
Yeah.
I mean, I just think sometimes I don't know why, but keepers always seem to have a great game at the Emirates. It's just something that happens.
Yeah, didn't Burris keeper in the 1-1 draw to seize as well?
Yeah, so maybe it's just they're a bit unlucky at home.
How about that penalty from Sanchez? Little chip down the middle.
Brilliant.
Cheeky.
And Alexis Sanchez has the chance to be Arsenal's hero here. Again, he scored the winner when the sides met in the FA Cup last season. Can he score the winner again? He can! And he can do it in style. Cool head, calm finish from a classy player.
But one of the
Takes balls.
94th minute or whatever it was.
97.
I love the way he
97,
kind of
yeah.
shaped his body as if he was going to put in the corner, the arm out, kind of leaning towards the corner, and then he knew the keeper was moving. And
Imagine he hadn't missed it.
yeah.
Arsenal TV would implode.
But I'll tell you what to make of Arsene Wenger's little push.
Yeah, it's
I don't think Conor McGregor would be quaking in his boots now looking at that.
It's still silly though. I mean, you can't be putting your hands on any officials.
Yeah, it's very immature, isn't it?
Yeah, he apologised for that after, but I'm sure he'll get a 2-game ban or something stupid like that.
Yeah. So let's move on to Stamford Bridge now, and the team many people feel that the champions elect. They welcomed Diego Costa back.
Yeah.
People were
They did the lie.
Chelsea's home game against Hull. What do you think about that?
I think Costa straight away had a big impact. The minute the game kicked off, he nearly scored. Like it was a couple of seconds, a couple of minutes in, he had a shot and it nearly went in. Like
In the first minute, yeah.
but the crowd seemed to be happy to have him back. They were singing Diego the whole time, so
Yeah.
when he scored.
Moses could be the key to this game yet. And he rolls in off the line on the right hand side. Good cross! Diego Costa! Well, it had to be. It just had to be him. 6 minutes into stoppage time. The deadlock is broken. And Diego Costa, the man who they said was heading to China, has come back into the side and has smashed the defensive rear guard of Hull City.
So obviously they don't really care that
They might accept the type of character he is,
I
but he
suppose
does the business.
I suppose we'll never know what actually happened.
Yeah, things happen on the training ground, like, you know
with
what I
him
mean?
and Conte, but they seem to have made up, and it's just straight people just he's going to China, he wants more money.
Even though
Who knows? You know?
last week we were saying Hull, I was saying Hull they're really coming on. I think they weren't too bad in the game. I don't think they could really expect much to go to Stamford Bridge and win.
Yeah.
I think 2-0 is a humbling result for them.
It is. I think Silva started well, isn't he, in his role as manager?
Yeah.
It's the ninth away defeat for Hull this season.
And they're going to sign Markovic now off Liverpool, so it'll be interesting.
Oh, Lazar Markovic.
Yeah.
Is he with Benfica at the moment?
He's
or?
with Sporting Lisbon, but that loan was cancelled. So he's come back to Liverpool now and he's going to head off to Hull, so that'll be an interesting move for him.
Yeah, well, he has speed now. That's what I'll say about him from Simon Liverpool.
I think they definitely need signings Hull. They had your man Nias playing yesterday, and I mean that was a sigh for sorry eyes.
I was very impressed with Maguire, the centre half for Hull.
He's very good.
Like in a proper game with Diego Costa, it was like world class.
Up for a street fight when he plays, isn't he? Yeah.
But like he really like Costa, I'd say, was shook at how much of the game he was in, and you thought he carried the ball from the back very well out the middle of the park, and his passing was quality as well. But yeah, and then there was also no Snodgrass for Hull, which would maybe make you think, is he going somewhere else?
He had a nickel, but I think if he had a nickel, they would have still playing him because he's their best player. So I think
that's an interesting one. Now, when I saw he wasn't playing, and I had seen the little yellow symbol beside him in the fantasy football, 75%.
You'd think that they'd play him.
That's why I kept him in, because I was like, there's no way
they can afford to let
they
him.
can't let him.
It's an interesting point. You think there's something there involving a potential transfer? Yeah,
Middlesbrough paid 8 million from.
8 million. When you think about it, he's probably worth more than that, though.
Yeah, I don't think he would be worth going to Borough over Hull. I think they're on the same level.
I think so, but 8 million for the Scottish international captain who was good. Oh, there is that probably, yeah. But if he was, I've no doubt if he was 22, 23, it'd be a lot more than 8 million.
100%, yeah.
But you know. So, what do you think now for the race? In my opinion, Stevie Wonder can see that it's going to be a 2-horse race.
But we say that. How many times have we said this? Like at this stage of the season, they're going to go out and walk the league, and then there's coming up to the last 3 games. There's only 3 points between them.
But just what I've seen so far, I just think I'll go through quickly what I think. Liverpool can score but can't defend. Man City aren't good enough this season. They've got problems. Man United just aren't good enough as well. I don't think they'd be capable of going on a run like Chelsea with 12-13 wins and they're playing against big teams in that group of games. Arsenal are bottlers. Nothing's new there. If they get 3rd or 4th, they're doing well. It's coming down to the only 2 teams who really are solid and can do week in, week out and can beat the good teams, the small teams. I think Chelsea, Spurs.
I don't think Spurs will be.
They can't topple the big teams.
I don't think. I think it'll be Chelsea first, Arsenal second, and then Liverpool third, and then 4th is up for grabs.
Do you think? Yeah.
I think Liverpool in the next 5 home games, they've Chelsea, Spurs, and Arsenal in the next.
Liverpool could go down this year, lads.
Yeah.
But I think that they need to win. They need to win and draw one of them. They need to win 2 and draw one of them to stay in the title race.
But what's interesting now and might give teams a bit of hope is Chelsea's next 3 games: Liverpool away, Arsenal at home, and then. Not that Burnley are a great side, but they're good at Turfmoor on a away trip to Burnley. Yeah. Could they drop a few points there, maybe?
Who've they got? Liverpool, Arsenal, Burnley.
Liverpool away. The way Liverpool are playing at the moment, a bit of a wobble.
Liverpool have lost once in 12 months at Anfield, so it is a bit of a tough. It's a tough trip. You can't deny that.
Yeah.
I think they'll be Arsenal at home.
I reckon they might draw with Arsenal.
You think?
Yeah, well, Arsenal, I suppose Chelsea weren't the animal they are now, and they played them at the Emirates, but I think Arsenal will be up for it.
The record of Stamford Bridge is quite poor,
isn't it?
It's really poor.
They actually upset me so much, Arsenal. They've so much. I really like Arsenal. They just drive me mad. They always start off so well, and then, as you say, Kev, just bottle it every. For
me, I'm just looking. I know that I'm just looking at the same old. I can't see. I don't know how that team could go on a run of 11, 12 wins and have a few big wins in there.
Yeah.
Just don't think they have it at the moment.
Yeah, it's a big mental block there that's preventing them from getting to that title winning level.
Yeah.
But for me though, I don't think Chelsea are so many. 8 points. Yeah, 8 points clear. Just can't. I can't see them dropping out. Like they could lose maybe to Liverpool or to Arsenal. They're still going to be 5 points clear then. Which is still a huge gap.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Who knows? You never know. It's exciting.
Yeah. Absolutely. So we'll go through the best of the rest. So we'll start with West Brom against Sunderland. 2-0 win there.
Yeah. Before this game, I don't know if David Moyes said it, but the commentator said that Sunderland are not their best. Won't have their best squad today because they've 3 players at the African Cup of Nations.
Yeah.
How can you complain about that when you sign the players now they're African and there's a chance they'll be out to the African Cup of Nations?
Yeah, well there is that.
You've got to analyse every situation when you're signing a player, and they've only themselves to blame really.
And have kind of ready-made replacements, kind of fit and maybe rested at the right time to come in and be fresh to replace them. Yeah. So
I can't really see why they're complaining. If they are, I don't know if David Moyes said anything about it, but the commentator definitely said it.
Yeah.
And then they lost Papa Gilabogi now this week with this morning he got a violent conduct charge. So punched someone in the face.
So he's out for a few games, is he?
Nice fella, yeah.
Yeah, friendly guy, yeah. He's a teammate you want in the trenches with you.
I think West Brom are very good.
Yeah, the goals are very good. You see, Brunskill, he almost broke the net with him.
Did you see who got an assist? Gareth McCauley.
Yes, yeah. That justifies the selection, yeah. Bournemouth against Watford then.
Bournemouth at home. They
know how to score, but they know how to concede as well.
Important for Watford to get a result. They've lost the last 5 or 8.
Yeah, I'd say they were just happy not to lose the game, to be honest.
Troy Deeney back in the score sheet.
Yeah,
A rare goal for Deeney.
101 goals now for Watford.
Really? I'd say it feels like only about 3 of them have come this season.
Yeah.
He's their record goal scorer of all time.
Yeah.
Oh,
So,
appreciate that.
And Southampton against Leicester. The goal by James Ward-Prowse was superb.
He's quality.
Really
Yeah,
is.
he'll be in the England setup in a few years. His dead ball, deliveries and free kicks on goal.
Yeah.
Leicester are terrible. They really are poor side.
Mm.
It's disheartening looking at them this season.
It's actually very weird though. What I don't understand is before last season they were Leicester City. Last season, like a magic potion or magic spells from them, they were to play like Barcelona. Then suddenly, since the first kick of this season, they're back to being Leicester.
Yeah.
It's like there's a magic spell involved.
Yeah.
They kicked off with a 2-1 defeat away at Hull the first day, and it's like their defeats. It's like it isn't like they've been playing like champions and they've just been going down. A lot of their defeats have been 4-1, 3-0, 3-1. They've been-
Mahrez has been quite injured as well, so that's a big miss. But
Yeah. Do you think maybe Ranieri didn't get in the right amount of good players to get them?
Well, he played in the diamond formation yesterday, and it just didn't work. Like they were all too clustered. Like
he said after the game they're going to go back to basics now because they're on
They don't
a
have-
slippery slope.
they don't have the players to play in that formation. I don't
They
think.
don't have Kante. I think that's the big thing. I mean, he's shown this year that he wasn't a one-off. He's ran the
He
show
has
in
been
the
brilliant.
midfield for Chelsea.
If Chelsea win the league, he'd be touted as one of the main reasons.
Last year they won 11 games away from home, Leicester, and they haven't won one this year.
That says an awful lot,
You know
doesn't
what I
it?
mean? Yeah, and like it wasn't as if that like Southampton aren't like
World beaters.
like they're not going to change the world. They were absolutely quality. Like they made them look absolutely quality.
It's going to be a while before Southampton beat the current Premiership champions 3-0 again.
Yeah, no, exactly.
Yeah.
But no, I was very impressed with Ward-Prowse. I've kind of kept I've known him for a while, just because he's young and English, I suppose, and they always big up the English players. But no, they're describing him as next David Beckham with the dead balls.
Alright.
Yeah.
Well, his goal reminded me, and I don't know if you lads know this goal, reminded me of one that Gerrard got years ago, Stephen Gerrard against Luton Town in the FA Cup. About 10 years ago, and he wrapped his foot around the ball the way Ward-Prowse did and veered it off into the far corner. It's like the way he was facing, it's like if he kicked it, it would hit the corner flag, but just spun off the other way, back where it came.
I think Schmeichel would be disappointed with not saving that one away.
I think he will, given the fact that it was kind of coming towards him for a long time, but then it just curled. I think he should have been reading the curl a bit more on it, you know.
Van Dijk went off injured as well for Southampton.
It's interesting that he went off injured and they just sold Jose Fonte to West Ham.
Yeah,
so they're a bit
they
short
could be,
now defensively, and they actually, I think they paid for Mamadou Sakho on loan there, so that would be interesting.
Yeah, he'd be happy to get out of Anfield, wouldn't he? Yeah. So moving on to my pal Sam Allardyce and another defeat for Crystal Palace.
Yeah.
The situation regarding Coleman's goal in this game was a joke.
Offside.
No, did you see Jeffrey Schlupp went down injured?
Oh yeah, what was that?
He went off injured, and he fell off the pitch, and he was lying on the pitch. And as everyone scored, he rolled back on to try and say that he was on the pitch for the goal, that the ref should have stopped the game.
Yeah.
And there was even
It's
after
a
the game,
bookable offence down that.
even after the game, they said Allardyce should they have stopped the game? He says no. It's like no, there's no rule to say Everton are obliged to kick the ball out of play when our player is injured. He would have been happy if Palace had scored the winner when an Everton player was injured. So I think it's a bit cynical from Schlupp to try and sway the game.
Absolutely, yeah.
But I think Everton were brilliant. I think they really deserved to win.
Tom Davies again, the assist.
Yeah, 4 clean sheets in a row now. They've really picked up, haven't they?
Lukaku should have scored as well early on, and I think Barkley was very good as well.
Yeah, he was buzzing around getting a few shots in. Yeah.
So I think they deserve their win, and then they're coming into a bit of form now as we hit the last hurdle of the season.
Yeah, much needed as well because they did underachieve now for a lot of this season.
Yeah,
so for the last game, we'll look at Middlesbrough against West Ham, and like last week, as I flagged up, I smelt it. West Ham underachieving all season. They get a great win against Palace 3-0, and they really did play with the own Palace. I know it was 0-0 up to the hour mark, but looking at the highlights, they were well in control before that, and it really got them going. They go away to a Middlesbrough team who don't give goals away, particularly at home, and they win 3-1.
But I think they will start to leak a few goals because they were destroyed by West Ham. And
you feel it could have been more, yeah.
Yeah, I think Carroll was brilliant again.
Yeah,
he really was, and I think my pick of the week last week, Antonio, he should have had a goal earlier on, and he produced. He forced the keeper into a great save for Carroll's second goal. So I think they were a different animal this week. I think, but Carroll said after the game that one player is not going to define the way they play, and I think
Yeah.
They're really shown that the village that they're well capable of performing without Payet.
Yeah, it's very interesting as soon as he pretty much frees himself out with his demands.
One bad egg maybe could have.
Yeah, that they go and turn in their 2 best performances all season. It just shows it's a great kind of way to sober him up and say, look, you know, you're making all big demands. I don't want to play. I want to move on, but they don't actually need you.
Yeah, they're moving on without him, and fair play to them because they were definitely deserved it. But I think Middlesbrough are quite poor as well.
Great header by Andy Carroll. First.
Textbook Carroll, really, wasn't it?
Yeah. What you link him in your head when you think of him. Yeah.
Not doing acrobatics like last week.
Yeah. Probably had to take a few days rest after that bicycle kick. Now
back was bunched.
Lanzini was very good actually for West Ham as well.
Should have scored a tap in at the end.
So
great stuff, lads. So moving on to the part of the show where we chat about a football topic that we pick, and this week we're going to chat about we're going to come at the angle: should referees have to do post-match interviews and explain their performances in the same way managers and players do?
Yeah.
What do you think? What do you think, Owen?
I don't think they should. I think they're in a position where they have to base their actions off instinct, and it's very hard for them to come out after and say, because 9 times out of 10 they do make a wrong decision in the game, and they're only human. I mean, they don't get the replays we get every week. So how many times have we seen a tackle and think, oh, that's a bad tackle, and then you see the replay and think, actually it wasn't that bad.
But then again, could you put over the point when you say there, like, you know, their performance relies on instinct? Could a player say the same thing? Well, you know, when I'm kicking the ball, it's instinct. When I'm turning or running somewhere, it's instinct. Like, could every kind of contribution on the pitch be down to instinct, including the ref? You know?
Yeah, but I think it's different for a player because they can make a reckless instinctive decision or a good instinctive decision. So I think there's a fine line between a player and a referee. But I think the one thing is, I think they should definitely be able to go into the dressing room after a game and say to the players, look, I don't know if they do this, but they should definitely go in and say, I made a wrong decision. Sorry if it affects your season. I'll analyse the decision, and I'm not going to say I'm going to try and make it up for it in the next game. But
come forward and show a bit of empathy.
In the next game, like I'll try my best to analyse from a different situation or things like that. So I definitely don't think it's definitely not beneficial to come out in front of the media and talk about it.
What do you think, Jeff? There.
I kind of agree with what Alan's saying, but again, though, sometimes I'd like to know what the ref was thinking. I suppose, he's going off an instinct during the game, and there's so much going on around him that he obviously can't see everything. But sometimes where the ref has such a good clear view of an incident, and he, like, if it's a penalty and he doesn't give a penalty, or if it's not, or if it's a dive and he gives if it's a dive and he doesn't give and he gives a penalty for it, I think that there should be a chance for someone to go, well, what were you think? Like, what made you think that happened? Or, like, I'd like even the Arsenal game there on the weekend, Xhaka's red card, his foot was off the ground within 2 feet, but like, how can that be a sending off? And then Marcus Rojo a couple of months ago did that twice in 2, I think it was 2 successive games
against Everton and Palace, wasn't it?
He didn't get sent off, and they were much worse tackles. There was like, he went in at some speed in those tackles and he didn't get sent off. The
inconsistencies.
So that's nearly getting into a different debate as what is a red card and what isn't a red card. But I do think at times personally I'd like to see what the ref thought of it.
Even if like the manager came out and said, look, the ref's come in and he said that's a wrong decision, so we just have to accept it, it's happened, we move on. But at least we know then that the ref admits that
what he was thinking.
So.
But then, I think, sorry, Jeff, go on.
But then again, that I think that even it might slow the pace of the game down. We were talking about this as another topic of the week, but then maybe there should be someone who's up in a box or in the stand who's watching the game and can say the ref
into a ref's earpiece.
That's a dive, don't give it. Or like, he can overturn the referee's decision, because obviously the line-out can say whatever, but again, he's a referee. He's seeing from what angle. Sometimes
in real time.
Sometimes, like, I was watching the highlights of an Arch game yesterday in the Championship, and Wesley Hullen went down against Wolves. And it looked like, when I was watching it, I was like, that's pen straight away. And then a closer angle, I was like, that was a dive, and your man got sent off and they got a penalty.
No way.
But like, I'd love to. Like, I hate diving, so I think maybe that
if there's a shadow referee watching that back in the replay, he could have been the ref's ear saying, no, the Norwich players have to dive in there.
I do think that.
And the inconsistencies.
Kill a bit of excitement though at the same time. I know it's not really a viable argument, but I think at the same time, like, you love a nice controversial decision.
Referees should be interviewed after each game, and not in a way where we're looking to lynch them or we want their blood or anything. But I just think it's only fair, and it's what the fans, travelling fans in particular, are paying money to go away and watch the team. It's what they deserve to hear. They deserve to get it from the horse's mouth. Why was a penalty given that wasn't? It can't be. Nothing can be done about it now. They're travelling home, wherever, back to London or wherever they were, and they're miserable. But at least they hear from the guy who gave the penalty, well, this is why. And I think the most annoying thing is when you see a TV camera angle and it shows what the referee sees. It's like the camera's right behind him, and you can see that he's looking at the incident with a totally unobstructed view. There's no one in his way. How you really do want an explanation if he decides to give a penalty where he clearly saw there was none.
At the end of the day, that's their job, and if as a footballer or a manager, if it's their job for the team to win, if they don't win, then they're questioned as to why they didn't. And if you're working in an office and something goes wrong, you're questioned as to why it went wrong. Why didn't it work? So I don't see why it's so against the rules for a referee to be asked why. Of course,
yeah. And when the referee is the most important man in the stadium, or maybe not the most important, but he's the most powerful man during the 90 minutes of a match. Yeah. No matter who scores a goal on the pitch, it can be cancelled out by the referee, and he doesn't have to give the player an explanation there and then. So he holds the power to totally dictate what happens on the pitch. I think it's bizarre that he's able to hide in the refuge of his referee's room after, even if he's had a nightmare and given 3 goals, say for example, that weren't goals. He should come out, and no one's gonna be ripping into him. Like, the interviewer wouldn't be slating him, or I think it's just a case of tell us why you gave it.
I think it does. If they did have to do interviews, it would strip a bit of arrogance from them, because you see Mike Dean, like he walks out to the pitch like, I don't have to answer to anybody. He walk off, but he knows that he has to go and face the media. Then he says like, geez, I better try. But then at the same time, like, if he gives a foul, he gives a penalty in the 94th minute, say in the Arsenal game, like saying Arsenal win, then Palace go and play in the next game, Arsenal against him, and say Arsenal lose in the last minute penalty from the same ref. Yeah, he can say, well, he had to even it up because he told the media that was the wrong decision in the last game, so he had to even it up here.
There is that, and like ultimately, a referee's negligence can cost a number of jobs and cost millions of pounds to teams, because as you know, like even a team in mid-table, if they finish 10th as opposed to finishing 9th, there could be a couple of million, is it, for each place up?
I think it goes 500 grand for each place.
So I mean, 2 places up is £1 million. It could be a lot to a team like Burnley, and as I said, like, no one's looking to hammer them, but I just think it's decency. It's decency when quite clearly they've made a mistake in particular.
Well, how often are they going to admit to a mistake as well? They could anger fans more by saying, I think I made the right decision there. Yeah. He could put himself in a more...
Well, I can think of one potential pitfall which may stop the FA ever going down that route, and that will be that if one of their own officially registered Premier League referees admitted to making a big mistake that altered the outcome of a game, and they put it out in the public domain on air in an interview, well, then the FA may feel under pressure to get the game replayed. Because obviously, if one of their own men has owned up to what he'd done, they can't just say, well, we'll just keep going anyway, the team,
Another thing on that is, if they make a wrong decision, say, I'm not saying, but say the game is fixed, they can make a wrong decision, they come out and say after the game, I made a wrong decision. Yeah. And all of a sudden it's okay because they admit they made the wrong decision. You know what I mean? Just because you made the wrong decision doesn't mean it's okay.
Yeah, exactly. And you can take a referee off the Premier League list and put him on the Championship, but ultimately, when do you decide to bring him back? But unless I
don't think you can start that the FA, like, it's never going to happen. I don't think it's never going to happen that the referee is interviewed. But like, I don't think it should just be that's football. Like, if they do make a wrong decision, like if I don't know, like John Stones gives the ball away and if they lose 2-1 and it means they're out, they're not going to win the league now because they're down by 3 points. There's not going to be like, oh well, the FA aren't going to, if Stones comes out and goes, I made a mistake, the FA aren't going to go, alright, well, Stones made a mistake, we'll replay the game. So I just think it should be taken the exact same way as a player. Like, if the ref does come out and says, oh look lads, I made a bollocks to that, hold my hands up, then they were like, right, grand, fair enough. But like, I don't like, I think
it definitely should. I definitely think you should go into the dressing room after and say, look, I made the wrong decision here.
Best luck at the Championship, lads. You're after getting relegated for that, but no hard feelings.
I'm sorry I made that decision. It's what I've seen at the time. I think players would understand a bit better then, instead of seeing Mike Dean gives it and walk away. He's like that.
pompous type of
swaying
flair about
people
him.
away.
Yeah.
He doesn't care. He's done his job and he's gone. I think
He's a mug,
I think that gives players the wrong sort of impression about him. So I think if he had came in after say the game in the Olympic Stadium when he sent off Figuli, I think if he had went in after the game, he said, "I've seen the replay. I've seen it from a different angle. I apologise. I hope it gets rescinded. I'll put in a good word for you."
Yeah.
He said something like that. Then I think players would be a lot more understanding on the pitch.
Yeah, but it's such a hard job, of course. It's a really unforgiving task referees have.
They're only human at the end of the day. Can you imagine us out there?
And the old point as well, we're all at home watching it on TV, and sometimes after the benefit of 3 or 4 action replays at home, we still don't know if it was a foul.
Yeah.
So here's a guy who's seen it, and these guys play some speed in the Premier League. He's watching a match at bloody 100 miles an hour, and it is so hard. But again, I mean, you don't want to go off in a different debate, but I do think there should be a shadow referee in his ear. And the referee on the pitch will only hear the shadow referee speak. Maybe not even hear him speak for the whole game. It's only if he makes the odd bad call, the voice will come in saying, "Give the free kick the other way," or "No foul," whatever.
Find a bad call, though. That's the only other thing.
Well, if you have a guy watching, say, the TV replays, and he can just confirm to the referee, "You got it right," or at the very odd time,
there just needs to be more consistency in what is a foul and what isn't a foul in the Premier League. You're saying what's a bad call and what's not. If a player goes in off his feet with a stud shown, you're gone. No matter where it is in the pitch, no matter it just needs to be every time that happens, it's either a red card or it's not a red card. You can't.
I'm a bit confused about this last man rule now as well. Because I thought before the start of the season, I thought if he brought down the last man, it was a yellow card and a penalty. I thought there was no double punishment anymore. But then he was saying that your man got sent off for a foul on Houlihan. So I don't know what the rule is.
It wasn't the last man though.
No. But even I thought they got rid of the double punishment for the Euros and then obviously for the Premier League. But there doesn't seem to be any.
No,
I think John Terry got sent off in the FA Cup against Peterborough for a last man foul. So I don't know where this double punishment.
You haven't seen much of a change,
It just seems to be a lot of harsh red cards at the moment. I think red cards.
And a lot of red cards. A lot of tackles that have got away without being red card.
Do you think if referees had to give interviews after the game, do you think it would increase if they admitted to mistakes? Do you think it would increase the amount of anger from aggrieved supporters?
I think they'd be gone into a game with a premeditated mind, whereas they're not going to give a red card because they know they have to speak to the media after. They don't want any controversy. They don't want to talk about it.
Do you think it would alter a referee's performance then?
100%.
Playing it safe, yeah.
I mean, this obviously this must have been considered by the FA at some stage, so they obviously have arguments of why it shouldn't happen. So you can only trust them, but it's the FA, so
it's an interesting one, isn't it?
Logical thinking goes out the window there.
Yeah. Right, so lads, with no Premiership games next weekend now, the fantasy football picks have been suspended for this week. But we'll have a quick look back on how each of us done for this week's round of fantasy football fixtures. And how did you get on? Did you get a few points on board?
I did. I got 62. That was the third best in the league.
Very good.
Brought myself up to 5th. I think Jeff is what? 9th?
13th.
Yeah.
13th. Jesus Christ. So. But my picks from last week, I had Peter Cech. He got me 4 points.
Yeah.
Mikel Antonio got me 5. Jermaine Defoe only got me 2. But so at 62 points I had Firmino, he got me 2 goals. Ali got me a goal. So Coleman got me a goal as well. So I had me enough at 62.
Yeah.
Keep me pushing up the table and coming for you.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Jeff, what you got?
55. It was pretty happy. I was happy enough, to be honest. Got in the 70s last week, but if you're listening to the last 3 episodes, you can probably guess that my starting fantasy wasn't the best, but I kind of started focusing on it, and I'm moving up the table. But I had Coleman, had Sanchez, and had Williams as well. Got a clean sheet. Everyone had Sanchez got 16, Coleman got 15. So if I didn't have the 2 of them, I would have got pretty bang average points. But I think I'm gonna do my wild card now. I'm gonna have to take Van Dijk out as well.
How do you get on, Kev?
I actually don't know how many points I got. Would you believe?
I'll check for you now.
I think 50, 57, 59 maybe.
Is it?
I don't know if you did that well.
Yeah, hopefully I did.
No.
I tell you the truth, I actually thought now when I had Firmino as captain, I think he got me about 28 points.
Yeah, you got 59 points looking at it here. Firmino 28, Dele Alli 6, Kane 5. Firmino is your main
my main source there.
source of
Yeah,
points there.
Kane got me the assist. Aguero, to be fair, played very well. I was happy I kept him in. Although, to be fair, he hasn't scored in a few games. I don't know if I can justify keeping 12.5 million for him or 12.6.
Yeah, I have Origi in there. I'm going to shank him out now. Later on, it does my head in.
Ali now, I was happy with him again. Another
Yeah.
goal. I think he's got 8 goals in 5 games now or something like
Another
that.
header, yeah.
Sanchez, of course, always good for a goal. I didn't fancy him to do too much at home. Now I was no surprise he just got the penalty.
Yeah, he's actually. What did I see earlier on? Yeah, Sanchez has actually scored or assisted 32 goals in his last 33 Premier Leagues.
Scored or assisted 32 from his last 33.
Yeah.
Oh, I'll tell you, yeah, he's worth having. But the problem is now for fantasy football pickers is the fact that Giroud seems to be starting
Yeah.
up front, whereas Sanchez was in the first part of the
Yeah.
season. So now he's obviously relegated to the left wing, cutting in where he's not going to be as effective, but he still will get a few. But
But you never know with Giroud, like he's very hot and cold, isn't he?
yeah, it might take one or two.
Yeah.
Might take a semi-dry spell to have Sanchez back up
Yeah.
there in front of the goal. Yeah. So let's move on. So to the golden goal, and we thought we'd give Owen a shot this week. Now myself and Jeff have over the last few weeks picked out an onion bag troubler of our own. So this week it's Owen's slot. Owen, what goal did you pick?
I've gone with Iniesta to Stafford Bridge in 2009
Champions League.
Champions League semi-final.
Yeah. Why did you pick this goal now?
Because ultimately it was probably one of the most controversial goals in terms of the game scored in Champions League history. There was absolute bedlam in that game over the referees' decisions.
Yeah.
So I think Iniesta scored in the 93rd minute to send Barca through to the final, which
It was incredible.
Stamford Bridge nearly went on fire with the protests.
Yeah. Or Drogba down the camera, effing a blind, and
But it was a great finish as well. It was rolled out to him on the edge of the box and he buried it in the top corner.
into the top corner against Peter
Took
Cech.
took his jersey off, ran into the Barcelona fans, and I just remember watching thinking this is going to end so badly. And Barcelona actually went on to win the Champions League, beating United and Rome in the final.
Messi header.
Yeah, do you remember that? He floated for about 10 minutes in the
Yeah,
air
he
before he headed it.
Proper hanging in the air for like outrageous head on, never forgetting, and looped it over into the opposite corner.
But I definitely thought when Chelsea were 1-0 up, that the first leg was 0-0 at the Camp Nou, and they went 1-0 up and an absolute stunner from SEN, and then that goal after all the controversial decisions from the referee, Iniesta buried one in the top corner, and I just remember being absolute crazy scenes.
Yeah.
It was brilliant. Like, and one half the Barcelona fans were absolutely ecstatic. Iniesta jumped in, and then the blue half of the bridge were absolutely raging.
I think Gus Hiddink was in charge for Chelsea, wasn't he?
Yeah.
That was the height of my hatred for Chelsea. I was delighted. Kind of go through phases of hating teams.
Yeah, that was one of your anti-Chelsea periods.
I remember Ballack nearly assaulted the ref when that goal went in.
That's why I hated them so much. I hated Ballack.
Really, yeah.
Great player, but just hated him.
Yeah.
Very injury prone. That's the only problem for him.
Yeah, but it was incredible though in that game, and these decisions weren't even contentious. 5 blatant penalties that Chelsea should have had. They weren't even awarded one by a Swedish referee. Only you were saying, isn't it?
Yeah, Swedish referee. He didn't get picked for the World Cup allegedly.
On the strength of
because
that,
because of this, and he actually retired then in 2010 after that.
He hung up to Daisy Roots, did
He
he?
hung up the old whistle there.
Yeah.
Now, so,
I wouldn't say too many Chelsea fans were crying into their.
wouldn't say he's welcome back at the bridge anytime
No,
soon after that.
Absolutely not. Yeah,
Especially after they lost the Champions League the year before in the final.
yeah.
In Moscow.
And they went on. That was the season that Barcelona beat United in Rome, wasn't it?
Yeah.
2-0, yeah. They dominated. I remember United had the first 10 minutes in the Olympic Stadium. Ronaldo scuffed a shot wide and thought maybe it's going to be a game. Barcelona, I don't think Barcelona gave them the ball for the other 80 minutes.
Yeah, and then the year after that they played them in Wembley in the final. Remember the 3-1.
That's right, yeah.
That would be
I always remember that goal going top right bin, and or was it Messi's goal? But David Villa fell to his knees in front of the goals.
Do you remember?
Yeah.
Rooney scored a very good goal in that game.
Yeah.
He did. He was unlucky that the Barcelona's performance and the fact they scored 3 totally overshadowed. Had that game finished 1-1, everybody would have been talking about Rooney's finish into the top corner. But
that was the peak of Guardiola's reign at Barcelona as well. 2 Champions League in a row.
yeah, he wasn't blowing a gasket back then when the trophies were rolling in every few months. There was one season they won about 5 or 6 over the whole season. All the
everything, yeah.
They won over now the World Club Cup and
the only team ever to retain the Champions League as well.
yeah, they had an incredible team. Now that would definitely be the best team I've ever seen. So I think we rounded off for that this week, fellas. So Thanks a million.
Thanks for your time, Shane.
Cheers,
I really
Kevin.
enjoyed it.
Great stuff, lads. We leave you now with Owen's choice of golden goal. Andres Iniesta versus Chelsea. Until next time, goodbye.
Headed away by Terry. Eto'o broke from him, but it's Messi. It's Iniesta! And the Chelsea fans cover their eyes in horror. 2 minutes from time, and it's heartbreak at Stamford Bridge. Iniesta rattles one in, and suddenly in the minute and a half that remains, Chelsea find themselves needing another goal. Can you believe it?